The network community is organized on a national level, and there is CEAN as the European level, kind of ensuring the interaction between the national bodies. And the recommendation was to say, try the same thing with the grids. And this recommendation was forwarded to the European Commission, was forwarded to all the states. So they went back and got this recommendation, and interesting enough, surprisingly for politicians, they reacted on it. So they reacted on it by providing a call, for instance, to work in this line. But the ERG, in the meantime, was also not, say, leaning back and said, we did that. The ERG refined that recommendation and put together a paper on sustainable e-infrastructures. Again, giving ideas to the policymakers on what should be done. In the interest of dinner, I'm not going through all of them, focusing just on some important one. One is number 3 here. This infrastructure should be application neutral and open to all user communities. That's one of the statements. That's important because the e-infrastructure reflection group believes that an infrastructure should do this, then it's for the benefits of all of us. And interestingly enough, you see exactly the same statement in the call that was being published by the Commission. So they took it even word by word. So it was good that we had this body kind of looking from the different side, from the strategic side, and advising the Commission and the other states. There's some more things in here, interoperation and adoption of international standards, just to mention the importance that we had with OGF for the last couple of days here. That's one thing where work needs to be done. And then the last one, encouraging the national grid initiatives, making sure that each of the states kind of evolves to a situation where it can cooperate with the others. So let's continue with the story. So that was in 2004, 2005, 2006 in a sense. In 2007, all these kind of stones fell together in a workshop that we held in Munich in February, and the workshop was attended by 32 NGI representatives. So within a couple of months, we identified an NGI representative, a person representing that country for the particular national grid. And there was a paper that was kind of proposed by 10 selected NGIs to all these others, describing the future European grid infrastructure. Why did we do that? Well, basically the idea was finding out, can we agree on this structure? Can we agree on something like the future vision on how this should be done? Again, I'll save the time just to show you the points. So it was not only one vision, one small thing. There were a couple of points, including everything from operation of the infrastructure to training and so on. So they all read this. This was discussed during 2 days. And then after these 2 days, well, we asked them for some kind of commitment. And the commitment was that they basically said, yes, we agree to this vision. So over the couple of next week, we got a written letter, a written statement saying, the vision is what my country wants to do, and I'm going to support you in achieving this vision. Supporting you means, now we introduced a third entity, that's the EGI design study. Supporting means active involvement in a small project which drives the idea further. So again, the project was funded with 2.7 million euros, but the idea of the project was basically to assemble all the NGIs, put them together, put them into rooms, and agree with them on some particular next steps. That was the EGI design study. And here is what happened with the actually signing up. That's a kind of a historic animation. It gives you the green colors if a country signed this letter of support, signed the statement saying, I'm supporting the vision. Okay, there's a little trick some of you may have noticed, because we put that one onto the web page. And once we had 3 of them signing up, we kind of pointed every other one to the web page saying, see, your neighbor has already signed up. Fascinating how it works, you know? Really good. You could follow it by a daily measure in a sense. but it gives you an idea that more or less all of Europe is green. Missing are some of the states where the development of the grid is not as advanced, that couldn't join. But even with them, we had contacts. One that is still missing is the Vatican, but I'm working hard on that, yeah. So we had 42 European NGIs. We had also letters of support from Asia, from US, from Latin America. So we were approached by them. They said, could we support this idea? We heard about this idea. We should have talked to Canada. Maybe we should have done it the other way. But they came to us and asked us, in a sense. Then we have other standardization organizations like OGF Europe, or also the supercomputing community. That's the Partnership for Advanced Computing in Europe. So they are building the petaflop machine for Europe. My site is one of the sites that gets one of these machines, hopefully. And they even said, yes, it would be good to support the vision of EGI in order to access our machine, to provide a means of better collaboration with the other countries. And that goes on. So there's another list of people that helped in. So let's continue with that. There was the call. That's the call where we submitted the design study. And there was this proposal, as I said. So I was, at that time, leading that proposal. And the idea was just a study on the conceptual setup and how this operation of the new organizational unit would work like. How we come to this model, in a sense. And it didn't involve all the NGIs, all the 42. Because we know that it's difficult to manage after a certain size. So there was a small selected group, but this group was asked to get input from everybody. And only if we got input from everybody, we were able to distill the documents one after the other. So there is a web page, of course. There's information there. Everybody can download the documents delivered by this project. And there is some deliverables. So in the course of the project, we did some requirements analysis. We asked the country, how are you doing your national grid? And that was interesting because they did it all differently. You got 42 different answers. And in order to make it comparable, we built up this knowledge base. That's a tool that is shown here, gives you a map, and basically you can again click on the map. That was built on the experience from the previous map. Because we learned that if Lithuania wants to invest in the grid, it's looking to what Poland is doing, what other neighboring countries are doing. You can do that. You can now, if you're online, you go to this web page, you click there, you find out how many resources Germany has on the grid, how many resources Austria has on the grid, and which software they are using. It's very easy, and interesting enough, it's the NGIs that provide this information. So it's in their interest kind of to show how they are evolving towards the others by giving them this tool, in a sense. Next thing was then we did a review of these requirements, started with the discussion on the model, and then we had a first presentation of the Egi Blueprint Proposal. I'm cutting down here, again, some of the dates. Of course, this needs more iterations. For the blueprint alone, there were 3 main versions, in a sense, and each of them was very much different from the previous one. But there was this kind of evolutionary process, not only in writing the document, but also in the institutions and the communities working together. It was, so to say, a social experiment. And I think it was always a good idea to have a dinner and good wine on the day before the meeting. Yeah. So there was also this idea, let's set up one body, again, on the higher level, on the strategic level, and continue the evolution of the project below. And this body is the policy board. This policy board itself is the one where the NGI representatives are, and they had to endorse whatever was being produced by the project. So you see, in January this year, we had the endorsement of the blueprint proposal. So in a sense, only in January, we defined the model that we are now working on. And it seems like ages away, you know? So much has happened since then. There was another meeting, like in March here, and there we selected the EGI.EU's host site. EGI.EU is the umbrella organization, is the glue between all the NGIs.